And I think we are live. Let's see. Hey there, everyone. Um, Let me know if you hear me, if you see me. Is it working? All clear. Nice. All good. Nice. Good. All right. Hey, everyone, guys. This is our first ever developer stream. Gotta be clear. This is my first stream whatsoever. Never tried it, never done it, so it might be a little rough around the edges. And as you can probably tell, I'm not a native speaker, so it will probably be some problems with that. Hopefully, you can cut me some slack. Let's see. So, what are we gonna do today? Today is going to be a stream primarily about our development roadmap for 2025. What we are going to do, what do we have in the works right now, and stuff like that. That's first. Then I'm going to show you a little bit of our new version that's currently being polished and ready to launch soon. And after that, we can answer some questions, talk about your suggestions, and stuff like that. Uh, Also, during the stream, I will be sharing some codes. You can write them up and redeem them after the stream. They will be active for 24 hours. There is I think 500 limits on any code, so no need to rush to redeem them. It's going to be all right. All right. Do we have everything we need? Everything all right? Nice. I see Echo in chat. Anyone else? McCoven. Hey there, guys. Right. Let's start. So again, as I told, first let's start with. Let's start. You know what? Let's start with a code first. That's your code. Write it down. It's gonna give you some free messages. We're gonna have more during the stream. Whole stream is gonna take about an hour, I think, maybe an hour and a half, but we'll see. Does the code shows? Let's see. Give me a second. It's not. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's try that. I think it should be up now. Nice. Good. Hey guys, write it down. All right, I hope everyone has wrote it down because I'm gonna. Well, it's in chat. All right, so we can hide it. I think. All right, good. let's start with roadmap. So, roadmap is divided into sections for about 2 months each. So, what is in our first section? The first thing that we are working right now is interactive inventory. We've seen a lot of suggestions, a lot of issues with inventory, and it's been a pain in the ass for the longest time. And so right now we are working on interactive inventory that works just like it would work in any other RPG that you play on your PC or your console, stuff like that. So basically, you will see a window with all your items. You can click on any item. You can click equip, unequip, remove, like stuff like that. Basic interactions that just replace messages that you will spend otherwise to trying to explain to your DM what you need to do with your inventory. Just helps you a little bit, makes it a little bit cleaner and a little bit more usable. I don't know. So that's the first, rather simple, but still it's one that many of you have asked for. Next one. What's next? Updated AI core. Right now, it's obvious that current AI model can handle a little bit more complex interactions, a little bit more complex narrative, stuff like that. So we are working on new updated AI core with new AI model, sufficiently bigger, sufficiently more capable. So, and right now we are testing it already, and I would expect it to arrive rather soon. That's again something that doesn't seem like a lot, but hopefully changes how the game feels. And the next thing is, of course, memory upgrade. Already seen some messages in chat about how some players encounter memory issues, and it's obvious. Everybody knows that memory isn't perfect. There is a lot of problems with it, but you got to understand that when you look at any other AI application, you look at ChatGPT. Most histories that ChatGPT will handle vary between 10 messages on average, with up to 50 messages on average, right? And while our game, Everweave, handles often right now histories that are well over thousands of messages. I see in histories that are like in 20,000 messages, and obviously it's like really tough for AI to remember. So we have special memory system that like apps like ChatGPT just don't need. We have that. It's not perfect. We are working on improving it, and hopefully it will fix most of the issues with the memory right now. Still, you gotta understand, perfect memory with AI application still probably isn't achievable, but we hopefully it fixes most of the issues. So these three features, interactive inventory, updated AI core, and memory upgrade, we plan to ship in May and June. Probably the first one to come will be an updated AI core, then interactive inventory, and then memory upgrade. Updated AI core already is testing, already shows itself behaving quite well. We'll see how long it will take. All right, what's in our next section? First one is adventure mode. This one is quite big. What does it entail? Well, currently game works basically like a sandbox game, right? You are booted into the world and you are free to do whatever you want. DM will try to create your adventure for you on the spot, just with every next message. So it works something like this. What adventure mode does, it works quite the opposite way. Instead of coming up with adventure on its own, DM will get on the start of the game will get the predefined scenario of the adventure, and then it will run it for you until you reach the conclusion of the adventure. So basically, like classic D&D one shot that somebody else wrote for your DM. So basically, the first one shots we will be writing for you. We'll try launch it. We'll see how it handles, how it runs, how it plays. We'll see how it works, basically. And if it works well enough, ideal case scenario is that in future you will be able to create your own adventures, publish them for other players to play, and maybe even get some bonuses for that. If players like your adventure, players play your adventure, stuff like that. So that's what it is. Basically, again, adventure mode is like one shot in classic D&D. You get a clear goal, you get a clear start, and if you stray too far, you either, like, your DM says to you, hey, this is our adventure, let's focus on that. Or your DM says, hey, it seems like you aren't really interested in that particular adventure, maybe we should transfer you to a sandbox mode. So basically, you will have two modes: sandbox and adventure mode. That's it. And the next, again, quite a big one, is a character engine. This one is big and kind of hard to explain. So basically, first, you got to understand how the game works right now. In the game, you have two modes, right? It's a narrative mode where you are free to explore, free to interact with characters, do whatever you want. And then there's combat mode, right? Where there is a turn-based order, where there's initiative, and you gotta follow that. You have action economy, and stuff like that. So character engine will implement the next mode. It's dialogue mode. Again, it's works kind of like any other computer RPG would work. Uh, you start to chat with the character, and it fixes you onto that. So dialogue mode would like allow you to progress your relationship with the character in a structured way, and it will basically be focused on dialogue, right? Apart from that, character engine also will add a party system. So basically, right now, any character you are traveling with isn't stored as a separate entity on our servers, right? It exists as long as it exists in dialogue. So, and with the character engine, you will have a specific engine module to store information about your companions, and those companions will have their own character sheets. They will have their own memory, and maybe even their own autonomy later down the road. So, if so, there could be a scenario where your companions don't agree with your actions and decide to leave you or attack you, or I don't know, something like this. Or they may start a relationship with your character. And again, this will also enhance already planned memory upgrade, because those characters will have their own memory, and they will have their own abilities, character sheets, inventories, stuff like that. That is what a character engine is. So both of those modules we expect to ship at the end of summer. It's July and August. Probably adventure mode will come earlier, with the character engine being the latter, because character engine is obviously a lot more work. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, this is all just planned. There might be some changes, there might be some difficulties that we gotta address, so there might be some delays. Hopefully, you don't burn me on the some fire for that. Let's take a little break and answer some questions. Will your character be designed within the parameters of the story, or will we still have the free reign of the backstory, etc., in adventure mode? Yes. So basically, how it will work is you have your character, you create it, and then you decide whether to take it into adventure and whether to take it into the sandbox. So you can, for example, take your character, boot up an adventure, complete it, and then decide to, all right, now I want to go into the sandbox, and vice versa. So that's my current thinking. That's our current design, but it can change. Will adventure mode still be limited to 60 messages a month? Are those messages tied into the free adventure? Messages that you get are not bound to any mode that you play. So if you have a monthly quota, you can play them through any mode, through adventure mode or through sandbox mode. Think. So one mode for more straightforward type of game, and sandbox for more modification of the world. Yes, sandbox for the there's a lot of players that really own to their creativity. Some players do some games that I think I, as a DM, would never run. Like some player created magic bureaucracy where he just tried to start wizarding school. Like, what DM would run this adventure? And that's what sandbox is for. And adventure mode, right? It's straightforward. You get a clear goal, like clear dungeon with goblins. That's the simplest, most obvious type of adventure, right? Or solve a mystery. This type of adventures. All right, and one more. Had this idea. Is it possible to make something like a book in the app where the player can write the names of the NPCs and tag related to them, from where the AI DM can read to not forget or modify the NPCs most present in the adventure? It's memory, basically. Yes, here's the thing. We had this type of suggestions for solving the memory issue for some time, and our design is kind of contradicts it a little bit because we expect the memory to work without any player input, right? You just play the game and the game should work by itself. And obviously we could create some sort of a crutch like this, where the DM has to, where the player has to complete some part of the work. But the thing is, either way, it's work that we need to do, improving the current memory system and hopefully solving most of the issues, or creating a crutch that will not like solve it exactly completely, right? So we need to choose whether what we focus on, what do we spend our efforts on, and so we're basically choosing to complete and finish and polish and fix the current system because it will ideally perfectly in a perfect world in a perfect situation just doesn't involve player at all. Player just plays and the game works like it should. So I hope that solves it, that answers it. All right, so let's return to questions a little later, and first continue with our roadmap. Right. So what's next for the roadmap? That's basically autumn. The first thing is a narrative director, and that one kind of ties up with the adventure mode because what is narrative director? Basically, right now, DM that creates your narrative works on its own. It doesn't have any helpers. It has helpers when it comes to system variables, but it doesn't have any that work on the necessarily on directly creating new narrative. So that's what a narrative director is. This will be an additional layer of AI that will analyze your long story, your memory, memory of your character, memory of the game, story of the game, companions, stuff like that, your backstory, and hopefully gives a DM that directly creates a new narrative for you, tips on how to create an overarching structure, an overarching long arcs narrative. So that will be the thing that hopefully is able to create long story campaigns that we all love and want to play. Because right now, obviously, most of you have seen that long story campaigns with complex arcs, with character development, are basically lacking. So that's what narrative director is for. So that's the one. Next one is environment model expansion. This is a rather simple one. It basically does is just expands our current environment system because it does have some issues. Like I had some players coming with me into my DMs saying that their wallpaper has changed. But the thing is that it's not supposed to be a wallpaper, right? When you are directly in the game, the image that is in background is supposed to like show you where you are, basically a biome. If you're on a beach, it's supposed to show you a coastline. If you're indoors, it's supposed to show you indoors, stuff like that. So environment model expansion is aims to improve on that part, adding basically, well, improving stability of how that works, and adding more to it, adding more time of the day, like sunrise, dusk, adding weather effects like rain and snow and thunderstorm, stuff like that. Basically, just improving an immersion. Hopefully with sound too, but we'll see to it. So the next one is executive functions reward. This one is kind of hard to explain. It's basically just the time that we need to take to work on some internal parts of the engine that right now does not allow us to do some cooler stuff. So it's basically just rework of parts of the engine, and that will allow us to do cool stuff. So all of this we expect to handle in September and October. Again, it's not a hard limit. We'll see how we can deliver on that. Hopefully, we can. Let's see. All right, let's return to questions later. So, last segment, magic item generation. Again, as I just said, executive functions rework should allow us to do some cooler stuff, and magic item generation is one of them. Basically, what it does, it just allows your DM to properly create magic items that you can use, that will be handled properly by the engine, that will display in your character sheet, that will affect your character, that will heal you if you need to be healed, that will deal damage if it needs to be done, that will transform you into something if it needs to be done, stuff like that. Give me a second, guys. Yeah. So that's what it is. Again, next one, obviously, ability generation. The same thing, but for abilities. Because it seems a lot of you want to your character be unique, and that's what I would want to. So ability generation would allow DM to generate for you abilities that work with the engine, that your DM will remember, that our server will remember, that works as they supposed to. All right. If it's a polymorph spell that you gathered somehow, it works, and stuff like that. Because right now, obviously, it doesn't work very well, and that's because we need to take that time to change some functions in the engine. And the last one is a big one. It's quite complex. I don't think that we will deliver that this year, but we will start some testing. We will probably give some of you some prototypes to try and work and test and tell us what you think. This one is a combat engine interface. Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically a combat interface that works like any other tactical RPG works. Like Baldur's Gate, see at Baldur's Gate, see at Pathfinder. Uh, that's how it works. It's an interface with a grid, with your character models, with an interface to use your abilities, stuff like that, with some effects at the start, and well, basically full-fledged combat engine as you would see in any other computer RPG, turn-based computer RPG. Still, again, it's a really big one. I don't think that we will deliver it this year. We will probably ship some modules of that and start testing with that. We'll see how many players actually need that, how many players want that, how good it works, how well it works, and stuff like that. And that's it, I think. So again, this is the last segment. It will be shipped November, December, except for combat engine interface. Let's, and of course, in the combat engine interface, it will still have an input bar, right? You still can use some creative approach that as you would in classic D&D and as you can't in like computer RPGs, because we wouldn't want to take that from you. So, and basically that's it for this year. Let's wait for some questions and answer them. And until then, here's one more code for you guys. Code works. Nice. That's good. Yet code is in the chat. So you can hide it now. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for playing, for being here. All right. So, guys, again, if any codes, girls, anyone else, if you haven't noticed the code, it's in the chat. You can copy it from here, from there. So now let's answer some questions about the roadmap. Is there a limit to the number of party members? Yes, I think that at the start we will have a rather small limit, about 3 party members probably, because right now, again, we are basically building on technology that still develops. That's what's called bleeding edge, right? It's so fresh technology. Technology is so fresh that it kind of hurts to be using because it's not polished yet. So right now, I think that we will start with a rather small limit of maybe 3 party members. Will we get a Steam release? I don't know about that. Steam. I will show you something a little bit later, but I'm not sure about the Steam release. Let's wait up on that. Are there going to be any new races and classes added to the game? Will there be a healer class? Yes, 100%. I think that the next content update, again, guys, let's just say the roadmap only covers the features of the game. But we will be also releasing new content, new levels, new classes, new races, new stats, basically anything that you would expect. So, are there going to be new races and classes added to the game? Yes. Will there be a healer class? Yes. How soon? Can't say for sure. The next content update will be probably new levels. New levels, then probably subclasses for barbarian and warlock, and then after that, a new class. What it's gonna be? We are still thinking. Maybe Paladin. What do you think? Will we have the opportunity to choose the kind of fantasy that we would want, such as reincarnation as a monster? Well, reincarnation as a monster is kind of a problematic thing because you need a class. You would need a class that can do that. Will we have the opportunity to choose the kind of fantasy we would want? Yes, we are probably again next update we will have a section when you create your character where you can choose themes that you want present to be present in your adventure that DM will always have access to, always see, and therefore hopefully will take into consideration. Such as about reincarnation as a monster, again it's problematic with D&D because D&D works kind of as a hero fantasy, right? And it needs a class structure for it to work. I think that at some point we will release a class that I promised a long ago for my patrons that were here when nobody else would. It was an idea was to create a class that's called the Vessel. And basically, what it is, it's well, you can think about Doctor Jekyll and Hyde, right? You have a human side, and then you have some monster side, or you can think about Abomination from Darkest Dungeon, right? It's a character that does transformation, that struggles with control, that can go insane, and that who needs to like control an inner monster. Maybe see you can do reincarnation as a monster and that type of thing. Well, next one. Will you at some point implement a feature where I can buy my dead characters back to life? Maybe with limited use, but I don't want to lose all my progress. Yeah, I completely understand that. I don't want to implement a feature where you can buy your dead characters back because I already feel how some players will start to say that I killed their characters on purpose for them to buy a reincarnation scroll. So what you can do right now is you can just when you create a new character define some basically summary, short summary of your previous character, and explain to your new DM that this is just a reincarnation of that character, right? You can do that, and in future, I think we will add a limited reincarnation scrolls. Probably, I'm not sure about paid ones because I just the idea just rubs me wrong. But we will add that, but it just needs to be done in a way that respects the consequences. You don't want to just allow to reincarnate to revive any character. It just removes all consequences. And D&D, I think it's a huge part to lose your character and to kind of mourn them, to go through that. It's a good experience in my opinion. All right. Have you thought about offering a free service when you can watch ads to earn a certain amount of messages? Here's the thing about that. Right now, messages, one message worth more than watching 10 seconds of ads, of video ads that will take up your whole screen. So it's kind of problematic. You would need to watch 10 seconds of ads for one message that I think players will hate that. We are working on decreasing the cost of every message. Hopefully, we can achieve something on that front. But about ads, probably not very soon. All right. Sometimes an action requires a role with different stats. For example, intros with warlock spells that are supposed to be on charisma. Will I have to declare it, or will it be fixed in the future? Yes, I think. Well, first of all, if it happens in combat, you should address our support JNN in Discord server. I think he can help. At least he can report that case, and we can later work and see what is causing it. For the cases that I've seen, it's mostly an AI problem, and it will be fixed hopefully in majority of cases with the updated AI core. All right. Echo asks, could you explain in which way the character engine would function differently to journal of NPCs? I think a clarification of this would be useful. Yes, well, basically, a character engine works automatically, right? As soon as you meet the character that is suitable, that is important enough in the eyes of the NPC in the overlaying system, it reports this as important NPCs and it starts to have a little memory for them. Because right now there is only one memory that just engulfs your whole adventure. And the character engine would do basically journal for NPCs, but automatically. And that's just a small part of the character engine, because there is more to it, because there is a character sheet for your companions, there is memory for your companions. What It's basically journal for NPCs, but there is also hopefully at some point autonomy for your characters. So, and there is a dialogue mode, there is like a explicit variable that defines your relationship to that character. So hopefully that explains it. I know there might be a morality system implemented with the companions in the character engine. You mentioned they might not agree with your actions. Does it also mean there will be a personality profile stored for them too, or will that still fluctuate as it does now? No, there will be their own backstory. There will be their own basically personality. There will be their own character sheets, mechanical information, all that. But basically what character engine is, it fixes all these problems, because when we made the decision what should we focus on next, the big one that we should focus on next, there was a choice between a character engine and a combat engine interface. These are both big pieces of work with many variables, many modules, and we just seen that our players, you are most interested in characters, in your interactions, in your histories, in your relationship with these characters. And we wanted to fix the issues that are related to that first. So all these issues, hopefully, character engine just improves by a lot. Hopefully, we'll see. Will we get the ability to upload an image to attach to our characters, possibly to attach to our allies when the character engine comes out too, but more so to display on our own characters? Character engine hopefully comes with the portraits, comes with the imagery for companions. As to portrait for your character, that might be a good idea. We'll see. Well, ideally, of course, we would implement a generation of a portrait for your character that will evolve with time. As if, for example, if you lose your eye in a combat, it will be evolved. But right now, I don't think that image generation models are stable enough for that. So maybe right now, attaching a portrait might be a good idea. Shouldn't be too much work. Uh, I just hope you don't upload anything too explicit. Will it be possible for a player to create new classes and races in the future for everyone to play, like mods from the community? Uh, yes. Basically, hopefully, the plan is that it will be possible at some point. At what point we can say right now. Again, executive functions rework that you can see right now on your screen, planned for September and October, kind of related to that too, because it provides a straightforward, a unified framework for AI and hopefully in future players to work with the inner systems of the engine. And so maybe it will be possible at some point. I hope so. Probably not this year. All right. So this is it for the roadmap. Uh, and we should move on to the next section. Let's see. Right now, here it is. Yeah, it works. So I think that kind of answers the question about release on Steam. Here is a new version of the game that's supposed to work on web. That does work on web. It's not gonna be released just yet. Let's see if it fixes it. Mic problems. Does it work right now? Nice, good. Sorry, it's a different scene with a different mic. Yeah. So this is the web version of the game that works in your browser, and it should help out with people that don't want to play on mobile devices or who doesn't have an Android device. Um, so basically, it's pretty simple. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, guys, works just as our classic version, just on a big screen. And you know, so that's probably why we're not gonna be releasing a game in Steam in the near future. Right now, we are kinda aiming at the web version. Because again, you don't have a lot of packages, a lot of weight behind your game. You can just upload it to web and it would work just fine. So there is no really no reason to use Steam and pay a lot of money for that. So it works just the same. You can type anything, it works. Yeah, you can send messages, DM will answer. Basically, all the same. So the people that use Apple devices will be hopefully have some sort of relief on that front, because Apple still does not allow us to create a developer account. It's still a lot of bureaucracy with it, so it will be some time before that. In the meantime, those people hopefully will be able to play on our web version. I think it will be releasing about 2 maybe 3 weeks in the future. Let's see if we can deliver on that. Basically, works just the same. You have your equipment module, you have all the descriptions that you need, your currency, all your items, your character module with your stats, with your abilities, as you can see, your spells if you have any. I don't, because I play as here. I play as a fighter. All right. So it's still not available, guys. It will be available in 2 3 weeks, hopefully, if we can decide some issues, resolve some issues, I think, and it hopefully can help you with that. Some things I shouldn't show you here. All right, seems some people are stepped away. Again, this is a web version. You can play it in your browser, on your desktop device. So if you don't have a phone for some reason, or you don't have Android device, but you have PC, you have access to web, you can play it on your computer through web. Elite Echo asks, will the purchases still go through Google Play or will it be different? Hopefully it will go differently through a different route without Google Play commission, because it kind of sucks right now with AI prices. It really sucks. So again, what to say? Let's ask something of our DM. I walk into the closest building to just see if it works. It does not. All right. Well, that is that. So as I said, it will take additional couple of weeks. Hopefully, we will resolve that until then. So let's return to some questions for now. All right. I like how the AI follows with my messages and remember things like familiar names, etc. Yet I have found in my campaign it is sending me in spirals leading to what feels like nowhere. And I can also initiate combat on demand. Is that something to do with my campaign or is that something to do with AI? It's definitely something to do with AI. Well, first of all, uh, there is a little bit of both. You can, you as a player in a current mode of the game, the sandbox mode, have the ultimate agency to do whatever you want. If you want to do some particular adventure, achieve some particular goal, this is the mode to do that. But yes, it's also has to do most of the things with AI because again there is a memory issue, right? There is a basic AI intelligence level issue, and there's also a narrative direction issue, and we will solve those issues step by step. First with the memory, then with like the modes, and then with narrative direction. A system that specifically aim to do that, to make sure that there is no spirals. There's something to do. Always there is a clear goal, a big overarching narrative in your campaign. So there's that. Question: would players get to stream this? Yeah, sure, 100%. Why not? It's basically just a web version. You can stream just as I do right now. I'm streaming basically just isolating one page from my browser and streaming that. So I don't see any problems with that. There's already Everweave kind of section in Twitch, so I guess you can use that and stuff like that. Do 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 do. Let's see for any other questions. Before while we're waiting for some questions, guys, here is one more code for you. See if it works. Do you see that, guys? Let me know. Yes, it seems the code is there. Thoughts on adding new spells? Yes, there will be more spells definitely. The issue with spells, of course, is that VOTC, Wizards of the Coast, creators of D&D, limit to what degree we can use spells provided in the core books, right? We have a rather limited amount, and every time we need to create new spells, and we need to make sure that they are somewhat balanced. So there is a reason to choose different spells. But there will be definitely more spells. So next question: what players get to stream this? Answered. Uh, will there eventually be a chance to have multiplayer? Well, yes. Technically, there is no issue with adding a multiplayer right now. It will require some work, some time, but it's possible. Should we do that? Well, we should do that. The question is how pressing of the matter that is. Because right now, from what I see, most of the players are people who don't have anybody to play with, right? Because if you have people to play with, you can play in real world, right? When we will add that kind of any kind of multiplayer, it will probably start with a rather small amount of people, like duos, you and your one friend, and then we'll see how popular it is, how well it works, and stuff like that. Then we'll capitalize on that. Probably not this year, because again, roadmap for this year is out here, as you have seen, and it's pretty stuffed. Will we be able in the future to customize the color of our AI? Can we customize our UI to both PC and phone? Well, I think, yeah, in the future, I don't see why not. We can do that. Maybe do some cool themes. Mm, why not? Yeah, I think we will. Right now, we can only kind of export our story, but will an import feature come in the future? That's an interesting one. To be honest, I don't know. Haven't really thought of that basically even once. Uh, I think at some point we might do that if there is enough interest in that, but I never even thought about that. And you need to understand to for that to work, it will be a pretty tedious task for you to format the story in a proper manner for our engine to work with it. But maybe, who knows? Maybe we can automate it at some point. But I wouldn't count on that in the near future. And there's a backstory you can use for now. Backstory, it's pretty lengthy from what I remember. Are there already preset game starts? I've woken up in the forest twice in a row. Yes, there are more than one game start. There's not a lot of them right now. We will add about six in the next update, I think. Right now, there's only four, if I remember correctly, but someone can correct me on that. Multiplayer will make it easy for people to play with others, I think. I'm eagerly awaiting that. Well, yeah, I can see that. Why not? I am interested in adding multiplayer because the end vision is, of course, it's just an ultimate DM that can do voices, that can do interactive combat, that can do long, complex history narrative that you can play with your friends. Maybe even voice chat built in and voice recognition and voice filters and whatnot, but it all takes a lot of work. Elite Echo is asking, is there an issue? Wait a second. Is there an issue with having a longer backstory section. That way, people can have a more direct control of the story. Well, there is kind of. If you have extremely long backstory, it will mess up the memory system. So you need to limit that around that, because if you have really long backstory, there's not a lot of time before you hit the summarization limit, because you have before you hit that memory limit. So right now I would recommend not to use too long backstory. That's why there is a limit. Crimson Mood Gaming. The code didn't work for me on the app, sadly. Have you? Are you sure you used all caps with that? The codes are case sensitive. They should work. Maybe look PMTA19YI. That should work, I think. Guys, is the code working for everybody else? Let me know. Yes, yes. I mean, when I'm talking about multiplayer, I'm talking about multiple players and one DM, right? Yeah, it seems that code works for everybody else. You should try just copy pasting. There should be no spaces, no white spaces. Just copy and paste it, and it should work. Do. Then, let's see more questions. Do. What was your original inspiration to make the game? Well, I think it's like not a super original idea. If you Well, first of all, I was always interested in making something some game with where you would be able to like truly develop your character, not just go through predefined path, because there is like two types of games right now, RPGs, right? There is sandbox games like I don't know, a Mountain Blade. It gives you freedom to explore on your own, but there isn't a lot to do, and there isn't a lot of customization. There isn't a lot of opportunities, cool, really, truly cool opportunities for you to do. You can just conquer the whole map, but what's then? It gives you nothing, right? And there is like straight up story RPGs like Witcher, like kind of like Baldur's Gate. It's not really RPG, still. But there is a lot of cool opportunities, but they all are predefined for you, right? You can't just come up with something on your own. And I was always interested in the idea of a game where you would be able to do something of your own, and it would be cool. So I guess I was interested by that, inspired by that. But the idea in itself isn't really super original. You see an AI, a rise of AI, and you think immediately what you can do with it. And I was really interested in D&D always, and I moved to a new country where I didn't have access to play with my friends anymore, and so I tried that with ChatGPT API first, and then started from there. What's about custom dice? Yep, custom dice will be available in the next update. We already working on that. It's already tested. We will change in the way dice works right now, because right now it's basically just an image. We are adding the proper 3D model, and there will be custom skins for that. Can a new feature be sending a character to a friend so they can use it? Sending a character, that's interesting. Let's put it to a vote at some point. I think, why not? Because it's not too difficult. But the question is, how many players want that? Uh, we'll set up a vote in our Discord server, We'll see if enough players want that. We'll do that because basically some part of that functionality already exists in our own support soft. Could we get a VC in the Discord? We don't have one lot. Modders have been asking for VC for a long time, and I'm kind of not sure about that because it's easy to moderate text channels. All messages are there. You can see what everybody said and stuff like that. But I'm afraid that as soon as VC is in Discord, some people will get really toxic, and there's not a lot of good ways to handle that, control that. Somebody gonna get bullied, and maybe even worse. We got to think about it some more. Right now, I would say no, not right now, but we'll see. How can the community help spread publicity? Well, first of all, there is TikTok bounties, right? You can create TikToks, and you will earn messages for that. Like I think it's 300 messages for simply creating a video, and then you get messages according to how many views you get. And guys, it's really not that hard to create a good, successful TikTok bounty or a TikTok video. It does require some work, but most of our players really spread publicity in quality manner by just telling us about us to their friends. I think that's the most efficient way. It's the best way. Please don't go on Reddit to try and convince some people that AI can be good and fun and useful. Reddit doesn't like that, it seems. All right. I think that's it. All right. So, think. All right. Here's think there will be some more questions. Is there a chance we could have our characters summon one of our other characters who help in a mission like they do in Elden Ring? Wow, that's really creative idea, but I don't think that we can implement it in the near future. Like, let's create that suggestion in our Discord, and I hope that at some point we will be able to get to it because it sounds cool, it sounds interesting, it sounds really creative. But right now, our hands full. Uh, will there be more names other than Arya, Elara, and Lear? Yes, yes, there will be. With hopefully updated AI core handle that to some degree, and then another director will be again improve that strongly. Will there be a new level cap? If so, will it? What will it be? Well, I hope that our next content expansion will increase level cap up to level 10, and after that, again, as soon as new content expansion comes, it will be either new races, new classes, or new levels. Well, max level cap, obviously level 20 for D&D Classic, stuff like that. We will be putting the roadmap on Discord and updating the FAQ. I will be putting the roadmap on Discord and updating the FAQ, right? Yes, I will. Probably not today. Quite tired already. Can we have an Instagram bounty? I don't know if I have a TikTok, and it may get banned in my country, USA. Instagram bounty. Well, we probably should have. It's just question of how hard it is, how easy it is for Instagram Reel or Instagram post to get any kind of traction. I guess we should have one, but probably initial bounty will be less, but for amount of use, probably should be more. All right, where the new updates roll out, will we need to make new characters for it to continue, or our playthrough? No, 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 no. You shouldn't need to. I hope so. It doesn't seem so. From I think we handled transition with new versions pretty well in the latest updates. You basically never needed it. I think for the last 3 or 4 months, any character sheet changes are updated automatically, and the histories too. And want to address also the like obviously, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us because I know that content and new features haven't been released as fast as you might have preferred. um, you know you need to understand that first of all, most of the time it was just me. I was the only one who worked on that full time. I had some help from my friends, but unlike me, they were all grown people with their own work, with their own responsibilities and families. So basically, it was kind of a lot to handle. Right now, we are gathering basically a full team. We can afford that at this point. We're hiring those guys that helped me initially. So, hopefully we will be ramping up the speed of new features, new updates, new content, and rate like success of our support and stuff like that. Right now, this year have been planned. Roadmap will be in our Discord. Roadmap I shown before, and hopefully we can stick to it. Maybe something even more. All right, last couple of questions. Will there be multi-classing? Probably not very soon. Although that's kind of a scene a suggestion in our Discord server discussion, because multi-classing kind of helps with the levels issue, right? Because the new levels require a lot of work, but if you allow for multi-classing, your character can be a level 7 rogue and level 4 warlock. You can do that. So maybe I will. I kind of try to look into it, but old AI core weren't really able to handle that all that well. We'll see how the new AI core handles it. Maybe. Uh, and I think that. Again, one more thing. This web version. Again, for anyone who's late, it will be available in our browser, hopefully 2 or 3 weeks. And I think, let's see, does this work with expert history? Let's see. Yeah, it does work with expert history, guys. By the way, my one of my teammates asking me to show you how you can share messages, because right now many of you have been expert in your stories to save them, but you need to remember that these exports only exist for one day. You're supposed to like export them and just remember that or just forget about it. They will be they will be removed from our servers. But if you want to share a short excerpt from your history, you can do that, and then you can like share it with anybody. It's kind of good. Recommend you using it. So I think this will be it for today. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for sticking with Everweave. It wouldn't be possible without your enthusiasm, without your support, without you being here, giving us feedback, by messages, of course, and stuff like that. Thank you, really, because I'm rarely on our Discord, but anytime I log in, I am surprised to see that it's still really positive, really friendly community, and I think that's rarity in today in a modern world. Thank you for it. Thank you for being part of it. Let's hope you stick with us for a long time because I think that this game could be something special in the end. In the end goal. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Echo, for uh, writing down any roadmap goals. All right. See you guys.